Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Jerry Jones ordered to take paternity test to determine if he is the biological father of Alexander Davis, 27, who claims to be the Dallas Cowboy owner's daughter. A judge in Dallas County upheld a decision compelling Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to take a paternity test to determine whether or not he's the biological father of a 27-year-old woman. That woman, Alexander Davis, sued Jones in 2022, claiming that the sports team owner was her father. Judge Sandra Jackson handed down the order after a hearing on February 19, but documents revealing that decision weren't uncovered until Wednesday by the Dallas Morning News. Davis's attorney, Chris Hayes, called the ruling a huge victory, adding, "Alex is in a position where she really no longer has to hide her truth or live under the thumb of fear, and maybe she's going to finally get some peace, and we hope other families will have that same benefit from the judge following the law." She alleges that she was conceived as the result of a relationship between Jones and her mother, Cynthia Davis, in the mid-1990s. Court documents say that Jones and Cynthia Davis reached a settlement in which he agreed to support them financially as long as they didn't publicly identify him as Alexander's father. The suit filed by Alexandra on March 3, 2022, sought to have a court declare that she wasn't bound by that agreement. Later, she dropped that suit, instead pursuing a way to legally prove that Jones is her father through testing. A ruling by another judge previously compelled Jones to be subject to a genetic test, but Jones' lawyers appealed. The ruling on February 19 is the result of that appeal. During that hearing, 3 attorneys representing the Cowboys owner argued that a man who was married to Cynthia when Alexandra was born was her presumed father. Davis's attorneys said that wasn't true, producing court documents from Arkansas stating in plain and apparent words that the man who was married to Cynthia at the time wasn't her father. Cynthia and that man have since separated. Hayes argued that because Alexander Davis doesn't have a presumed father, Jones must either admit paternity or agree to a test. Jones and Davis are also parties in another legal matter in a U.S. District Court, when Davis sued him for defamation back in March of 2023. That suit was both dismissed and refiled in the fall. A Dallas County judge ordered Wednesday that Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones must take a paternity test in a lawsuit filed by a woman claiming to be Jones' daughter. In a refiled defamation complaint, the woman, Alexander Davis, alleged Jones, Donald Jack, the lawyer, and the consultant, Jim Wilkinson, portrayed her as an extortionist. Davis's lawyer, Chris Hayes, called today a huge victory for many families. Judge Sandra Jackson of the 302nd District Court is presiding over the case. "Judge Jackson is a true judge of the people," Hayes wrote in a statement. "She listened to the facts of the case and followed the law perfectly. Her ruling proves that being a rich, powerful person does not mean you are above the law." Because of this ruling, Hayes said Davis no longer has to hide her truth, and that she will hopefully get the peace she has always deserved. "Alex is a poised, classy young lady that has remained in the shadows out of fear and now that has been vindicated by the courts," Hayes wrote. "She has given a voice to all children in her position, and she has done it with grace and humility." WFAA reported last November that U.S. District Court Judge Robert W. Schroeder III, who presides over a Texarkana court in the Eastern District of Texas, dismissed the defamation suit filed by Davis in October. However, the judge allowed Davis's lawyers the opportunity to refile their complaint, in which they alleged Jones, Jack, and Wilkinson made defamatory statements about her after she claimed Jones as her father, according to ABC News. Davis initially sued Jones in March of 2022, seeking recognition as Jones' biological daughter. The lawsuit centered on statements made in court filings, an affidavit from Jack recounting a meeting he had with Davis, and articles about the paternity case published in ESPN. McFeely's tip sheet: big year ahead in Big D for Trey Lance. If Dak Prescott is going to be the long-term starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, then what is Trey Lance's future in the Big D? That's the $22 million question for the former North Dakota State star. Lance was taken with the number 3 pick of the 2021 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers, who determined he was not going to be the future of that franchise, before Lance was traded to the Cowboys for a fourth-round pick prior to last season. Lance spent 2023 as the third quarterback in Dallas behind Prescott and backup Cooper Rush. Now the Cowboys have a decision to make with Lance. Where exactly does he fit into the puzzle after the team gave up a valuable fourth-round pick to obtain him? It's obvious the Cowboys don't view Lance as their QB of the present or near future because they are working on signing the veteran Prescott to a lengthy and expensive contract extension. That means, at best, Lance would be the number 2 QB behind Prescott in 2024, but as of now Rush is still slotted as the backup and is under contract for 24. It's more likely Lance would remain the third QB for one more season. But if Lance shows during OTAs and preseason that he's good enough to be number 2, that could trigger the Cowboys to trade him or Rush for something better than a fourth-round pick, and Dallas could show value for acquiring him. Lance is still under his rookie contract that will pay him $5.3 million in 2024. Then things get interesting. The Cowboys have the fifth-year option on Lance for 2025. If they choose to exercise it, they will owe him $22.4 million according to the contract tracking website Spotrac. That seems unlikely. Phew. This is complicated. Nick Harris, who covers the Cowboys for NFL.com, tells the tip sheet that in discussions he's had with Dallas coaches and the front office, the team remains high on Lance and is excited to see what the quarterback can offer through the summer and fall so it knows exactly what his future is. Harris said Lance worked very closely with quarterbacks coach Scott Tolzien through the entire 2023 season, including during road trips where Lance would arrive at the visiting stadium 3 to 4 hours before kickoff to work with Tolzien one-on-one. Tolzien worked hard on improving Lance's arm angle when throwing, Harris said. Tolzien wants Lance to raise his arm angle, throwing from a higher slot rather than a lower one like Lance did at NDSU and San Francisco. Now the team wants to get the full picture of Lance to determine what the future holds, Harris told the tip sheet. In a post at the Sports Illustrated website, writer Mike Fisher said a source on the Cowboys indicated the team has a Trey Lance plan that does not include paying the former Bison the $22.4 million in 2025. Fisher wrote that trading a fourth-round pick for Lance was a dart throw the team was hoping to make work one way or another. Fisher opined that the realistic options for Lance and the Cowboys are that the young QB shows enough promise that Dallas is able to trade him, or Cooper Rush, in exchange for value in excess of a fourth-round pick as we indicated earlier. Derrick Henry returning to Dallas Cowboys in NFL free agency, not ruled out, says GM Carthon. Derrick Henry will likely play elsewhere in 2024, but the Dallas Cowboys general manager hasn't ruled out a reunion. He knows where we are and we know where he is, he said Tuesday, according to ESPN's Turin Davenport. We will be well positioned to do whatever it takes. When these conversations are possible, we will do what we can with Derrick and his team. He's not the only one saying this. A player like Derrick Henry fits into any offense. If he is open to a return, that works for us. I will never reject good players. There's no offense in saying I wouldn't like Derrick Henry. However, other signs suggest the star running back won't be at Tennessee. On Monday, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that the AFC South team does not plan to place the franchise tag on him. What's more, Henry appeared to be joining Titans fans when he joined the crowd following the team's season finale in January. Even if he signs elsewhere this offseason, Henry will be remembered as one of the best players in franchise history. The 2016 second-round draft pick played his entire career for the Titans as a four-time Pro Bowler who led the league in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns twice. He was the Offensive Player of the Year in 2020 when he recorded 2,207 yards and 17 losses on the ground. While the 30-year-old has lost some of that explosiveness, he still rushed for 1,167 yards and 12 touchdowns in 2023. A return would still be surprising, but the general manager hasn't ruled it out at this point in the offseason. And you fan, what do you think of the Derrick Henry situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.